Hello everyone and welcome. Today we are playing a game called Kyle is Famous, and this game is supposed to be a choose your own adventure, and I actually played through one ending already, but I wanted to see what it would be like playing on video and recording it for you all. So we're gonna do that. It starts off very simple. Kyle wakes up. He is famous. So you can skip this, but I will go through it. Kyle is the host of the most popular talk show in recent memory, Stay Up Late with Kyle. Stay Up Late with Kyle has grown into a popular quickly in the last year, and the public has noticed. Inside has called Kyle most excellently dumpy white man. So basically, this goes through just talking about he's going to be preparing for an interview. So you start it. You can also pause the video if you want to read any of that. But basically, you got to start with your first decision that you want to start. So we can exit the bed, wither away, or browse social media. I'm going to browse social media. Kyle started to scroll through news articles on his phone. Stay Up Late with Kyle ranked 1 and 2 show on Netflix. Or not Netflix. It shows you how desensitized our world is when I have to think of television for Netflix. It's crazy. We'll read more. New East Bridge being constructed after being found to not actually exist. Authorities investigating. I'm going to read more. My hours are ticking down significantly. Another grand larceny and crime spree streak. Larceny, not larceny. Whatever. I'm going to get out of bed. I need to open the closet. Kyle opened the closet. It was dark, and he could only really see his hanging shirts. Choose an outfit. Kyle decided to take some time to choose the perfect outfit, knowing how important his appearance has to be. Skunk pasties, slick suit of armor. Oh my word. Suit of armor. Kyle is unsure of what exactly caused him to decide to wear his armor, but he felt like the right thing to do. After much squeezing and sweating, Kyle managed to work the metal suit around his dumpy self. Kyle returned to the center of the bedroom. We can scavenge. Kyle quickly crouched down on the floor, realizing his immediate need for bugs. Kyle started to pick between the fuzz of his bedroom carpet, hoping to catch a stray beetle or two. Soon, he had a small handful of various insects, dead and alive. Eat immediately. Kyle threw back his head and crammed the sticky, wriggling mass into his mouth. He felt refreshed. Wow. So we've eaten, and I guess we can sit at the desk. Kyle made his way over to the desk and sat down, checking the desk drawer. Kyle opened up his side drawer on his desk and grabbed one of the items stored there. Small key. Kyle grabbed the small key he kept in his desk. We're going to back out of here. We're going to go into the hallway. Checked locked door. Kyle walked over to the strange door in the hallway, but found quickly that the door was locked from the inside. Forced the door with forehead. Kyle decided it would be best to try to force the door open with the use of his face. After smashing his features into solid wood for several minutes, Kyle gained severe short amnesia. Okay, can we use the key? No. I need to go back to my bedroom. Sit desk. Write notes for interview. Kyle wrote down his first question. Am I a mother? Kyle wrote down his second question. Beef, mashed, or blended? That's a good one. What is your funniest story? Do you ever smile? I purposely ran over a puppy. And what's your guilty pleasure? Kyle ripped his page of notes out of the notebook and got up from the desk. Kyle made his way over to the desk and sat down. I don't have any hours left, do I? Kyle hurried to the set. Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity. As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled. Good evening, Kyle, she said, looking him in the eyes. I've been looking forward to being here. Kyle responded, forgot her name from amnesia. Hello, you. Kyle's ears began to ring from his concussion. Rachel looked at Kyle, slightly confused, but continued smiling. Before she noticed the glazed look in Kyle's eyes, the producer approached. Time to get started, he said, putting a hand on Kyle's shoulder. Let's get stationed. Kyle sat in the nearest chair. Rachel, her seat stole and sat in the host chair. A moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on. Start broadcast. Good morning, everyone, said Kyle. My name is, Kyle made a desperate effort to remember his name, really anything. Kyle looked at Rachel. Do you know who I am? He asked. Rachel looked back, confused. Who are you? Well, if you're not Kyle, I don't know who you are. Rachel smiled sweetly. Kyle made up his mind that he was probably Kyle. Well, he said, I am Kyle. A long silence followed. Eventually, Rachel spoke again. And I'm Rachel. Hi, everyone, she waved. Probably shouldn't have banged my head against that door. Hi, Rachel, said Kyle. So why are you here? Rachel was visibly worried. Ha ha ha, funny, she said. Were you planning on asking me any questions? I mean, I don't have any ideas, said Kyle. Kyle kept staring at Rachel. This seems like oh, this is how I plan it went down. I picture this. I picture that Kyle right here is in his little suit, and he is just talking to the woman. He's got all these other people around him. This is really pitiful, but this is just what's going through my brain. This is it. This is the whole scene. Now that we got that out of the way, someone coughed. Kyle looked around and noticed the crew. Who on earth are all of you? He asked. Nobody answered. Kyle got out of his chair and walked off frame, leaving Rachel alone with millions of viewers. Rachel started to entertain the audience herself. Eventually, the producers ended the broadcast early to technical issues. Kyle woke up in his bed the next morning, remembering nothing about what happened. Kyle forgot everything. What an interesting ending. So what if I'm just the most productive person ever? Like, if I just redo everything. So instead of withering away, I exit the bed, I open the closet, I choose an outfit, and I put on a slick suit. Kyle miraculously crammed his dumpy body into the suit. The chest pockets were filled with random knickknacks. Kyle returned. I sit at the desk. I write notes for the interview. Are you a mother? What are some diet tips? What's your funniest story? And do you feel guilty? What's your guilt? I feel like that was normal, so I sit back, go back to my room, just exit the bedroom, move to the kitchen. I can check the pantry. I wanted to access the pantry, but found it was locked with a small keyhole. That's where we need the key at. So we have to return the hallway. I guess I don't have any keys, so I have to sit at my desk, check it, small key. Hopefully I can make it back to the pantry. The kitchen, check pantry. Unlock a small key. The pantry door locked, creaked as it had moved for years, but eventually opened. And grab a bottle of lard. Kyle grabbed a bottle of lard and stashed it in his stashed it in for another person for later use. Kyle hurried to set. Sitting across from his host was a glamorous woman with air. We got this. Kyle approached her. Rachel looked up and smiled. Good evening, Kyle, she said, looking him in the eyes. I've been looking forward to being here. Kyle responded. Scream and spin in circles, answers politely. And I as well, Rachel, answered Kyle, extending his hands in the greeting. You are at most welcome guest. Shake hands. After other mild exchange of pleasantry, Kyle and Rachel were prompted to take their place for the broadcast. A moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on. Good evening, everyone, said Kyle, looking at the camera. Welcome back to Stay Up Late with Kyle. Tonight I have the pleasure of interviewing the lovely Rachel May, who needs no more introduction. Kyle motioned to Rachel, who smiled and waved to the camera. Hello, Kyle, she said. I'm glad to be here. In response, Kyle collapsed on the floor. From a combination of stressful preparation and not eating anything, Kyle had passed out. Nobody in the studio quite knew what to do with him. They began to poke Kyle in the back to see if he moved. After a while, they ended the broadcast, shut off the lights, and went home. Kyle was left face first on the floor. Kyle prepared by starving himself. So, what the heck? So, the ending I got was I thought everything correctly, but apparently I didn't put on any clothes, so I prepared by being a nudist. So, what you have to do to get a good ending, I believe, is open the closet, choose an outfit. We need to put on a slick suit, and then we need to also sit at the desk, We need to write notes for the interview. Are you a mother? What are some diet tips? What's your funniest story? So basically all the right answers right there back there. You basically can't make any wrong decisions. You need to check the pantry. Small keyhole. Did I not grab? Oh, nuts. I didn't grab my... I'm wasting so much time. Sit at desk, check it in the small key, back to desk, back to room, exit hallway, move to kitchen, check pantry, and I don't have enough time, do I? So apparently getting the pantry does not do anything. So you just exit the bed, you open the closet, and didn't do anything. Choose an outfit, a slick suit, and then you exit the bedroom, the hallway, move to kitchen, open fridge, you prepare breakfast. Kyle constructed a breakfast of poached eggs and toast along with a small fruit cup and grilled sausage. Eat. Kyle ate his breakfast slowly and thoughtfully, enjoying every bite. Felt refreshed. Returned to hallway. See, there's so many things we have to do. We need to return to bedroom. We need to sit at desk, write notes for interview. So all of these choices right here. Perfect. Check in desk drawer. We're going to get a sort of change and back to room. And then we can also scavenge. We can gossip. Kyle firmly pressed his ear into the carpet, hoping to hear some stray words from the neighbors below. I heard Rachel May is going out on a trip out of country soon. Oh, girlfriend, tell me more. Well, what I will tell you is that every night I don a mask that looks like a bug and fight Miss Doers. I don't know why that was so hard for me to do that. Okay, I hurry on to set, sitting across from his host. Okay, is this what we've heard already? Kyle responded, answer politely, shake hands, and after a moment after seeing the studio lights, Brian and the cameras clicked on. Gossip about neighbor. I'm just going to start the broadcast. I don't want to do anything. Introduce Rachel. More. Kyle motioned to Rachel, who smiled and said hello. Well, I'm sure we have a lot to discuss, so we might as well dive right into it, said Kyle. I'm very ready, said Rachel, the winning smile. Kyle produced the notes he had taken earlier. What's your guilty pleasure? Well, have one. What's your guilty pleasure? Ooh, well, that's an easy answer, said Rachel. Dipping pickles in chocolate. It might sound strange, but it's tangy and sweet at the same time. I eat it far too often. Rachel smiled sweetly. Kyle asked another question. Are you a mother? Rachel, I and many others would love to know. Are you a mother? Kyle looked up from his notes. While being single with a career, she answered, that's something that is not something that has crossed my mind. Rachel smiled genuinely at Kyle. Very reasonable indeed, said Kyle. He referenced his paper of questions. What's your funniest story? You've been involved in a lot of different things, said Kyle, but what's your funniest story? Well, that's a great question, Kyle, said Rachel. I think the story I always remember is the first time I tried to make dinner for my family. In the soup I made, I swapped out the water with milk and tipped the whole jar of salt in the pot. While my family was sick from trying to eat it, I swiped their things and locked myself in the room. Rachel laughed elegantly. Kyle decided to move on. What are some diet tips? Rachel, you've managed to keep such a thin and healthy figure, said Kyle. What is your best diet tip? Well, a good diet starts with a plan, answered Rachel, and don't break it. Cheat days can turn into a habit. But, she continued, it doesn't mean a midnight snack here and there isn't allowed. She smiled. Kyle looked at his flabby self, decided to commit and move on. After reading his final question, Kyle looked up from his paper. Well, Rachel, he said, I think that's all I was planning on asking you. If that's the case, Kyle, may I ask you something in return? Asked Rachel, smiling. On more time? Do you prepare for your interviews in advance? Because you seem very together. Before Kyle could answer, the camera shut down. The broadcast was over. Kyle returned home knowing his interview had gone well. But as he lay in bed and drifted to sleep, he felt that perhaps something was still missing. Oh, well, that's all I'm going to do, guys. So far, a great game. I would love to see more endings from this game. So there's 21, and we got 4 endings. So I will eventually make another video onto this. But if you want to see more videos like this, please let me know. As always, Lando from the Bando is out. Thank you so much for watching.